Welcome to the Binge List, fellow TV and film fanatics. I'm Greg, and I make recommendations for TV shows and movies that you can access from the comfort of your own home. And streaming services are stepping up their game with their original movies, and they're getting new titles faster than ever. So I wanted to talk about some of those newer movies that are worth checking out that hit streaming services over the last few months. And this list includes action, comedy, a little bit of horror, and even some romance, so hopefully there's an awesome option for your next movie night. Stop mindlessly scrolling, stop wasting your time, let's jump in and check out the list.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
My first pick on this list here is probably one of, if not my favorite on this list, and that is Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. And just like its predecessor, Furiosa is a thrilling post-apocalyptic action film. Set before the events of Fury Road, the film follows young Furiosa, played by Anya Taylor-Joy, as she is captured and forced to serve the tyrannical Immortan Joe. Furiosa must navigate a dangerous wasteland, outsmart her captors, and find a way to escape and return to her homeland. This film fits perfectly into the world that Fury Road created. It's jam-packed with intense action sequences that deliver non-stop thrills, with car chases and brutal battles. Along with it being just another visual spectacle, the iconic post-apocalyptic world is brought together with these stunning visuals and these awesome practical effects. There are a lot of recurring characters in this one too, like Immortan Joe, Rictus, the organ mechanic, and of course Furiosa herself, who is played by Anya Taylor-Joy, and like Charlize Theron before her, she delivers a powerful performance as this fierce and resourceful warrior, who is also supported by this really strong cast actually. You have Chris Hemsworth, Tom Burke, Josh Helman, and Elsa Pataki. So if you enjoyed Fury Road, then Furiosa is a perfect option for you, with more visually stunning and action-packed adventures that deliver on high expectations set by this Mad Max franchise.
Suspect is armed. He goes down. He does not get back up.
My second pick is one that I just talked about in my new Netflix in September video, and it is Rebel Ridge. And I checked this one out right when it came out, and it's a really good watch. Let me be clear, it's not Shawshank or anything like that, but it's a gripping action thriller that's well worth checking out, because it follows Terry, this ex-Marine who returns to his hometown only to find it entangled in this web of corruption and violence. And when he tries to post bail for his wrongly arrested cousin, he unwittingly triggers this all-out war. And I definitely stand by my original observations when I shared this in my other video, that Aaron Pierre delivers a powerful performance, facing off against the brilliant Don Johnson in this one as the villain, both showcasing their charisma and their action skills. And speaking of action, yes, this one is an action film with some pretty intense action sequences, but for this type of film that emulates the storytelling of a film like First Blood, it really does not have as much action as you would think. You do get a lot of suspense and drama built into the narrative. And no, it's not a game changer for the genre, but it does a great job weaving in the action and thrills with some pretty heavy themes also, like police brutality and social injustice. So check out Rebel Ridge for a few intense action sequences, solid performances, and some social commentary on systemic injustices.
You the Marine?
Yeah. You the ex-con?
Yeah, I did time, but you only gotta cast aspersions at me, guy.
Go.
Good. Stop talking.
No alcohol detected.
Been about.
Next up is the Apple TV Plus original film, The Instigators. This is a fairly new comedy action film that follows this unlikely duo as they embark on a heist to rob a corrupt politician. With their contrasting personalities and skills, they must navigate the dangerous world of organized crime and outsmart everyone who is in pursuit of them, despite not really liking each other that much. And I want to describe this film as good at a lot of things, but not really great in any one area. For example, it has plenty of humorous and entertaining moments, but not a ton of laugh out loud moments. More of a smile and kick back and chuckle type of movie. It has plenty of different comedic elements and then the witty dialogue to keep you engaged throughout a decent plot that offers you more twists and turns than you would probably expect for a streaming movie. Topped off with some solid action sequences, and they're not John Wick level, but they do hold their own. And for most, the main selling point going into this one is probably going to be the cast, led by Matt Damon and Casey Affleck. These two have exceptional chemistry working with each other as these very different characters. Both deliver solid performances, which is only enhanced by a slew of supporting characters and cameos, with stars like Ron Perlman, Toby Jones, Rob Gronkowski, Alfred Molina, and even Ving Rhames in this one. The Instigators is a fun and entertaining film that offers a mix of comedy and action. While it may not be groundbreaking, the film's strong performances and solid elements make it a worthwhile watch.
Are you guys aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America?
We just try to stay out. With what we see on the news, seems like it's for the best.
On to a new movie on Max, and this is Civil War, which is a dystopian thriller film that follows a team of war journalists as they navigate a civil war raging across the United States. In this one, you follow a ragtag team of veteran and new military embedded journalists as they race against time to reach Washington, D.C. before the rebel factions descend upon the White House. I really wasn't sure what I was getting into when I turned this one on, but I felt like the film's premise looked interesting. You're seeing this futuristic dystopian US divided by this bloody civil war. Definitely was intriguing and thought-provoking enough for me to turn it on. Then about halfway through, you realize this movie really is not all about that. They never really explain how or why this war is going on at all, with very minimal amounts of action throughout. The movie is really about this journey and evolution of the central characters played by Kirsten Dunst and Callie Spaney. Dunst plays a seasoned veteran photographer who is essentially forced into mentoring this younger version of herself, and you get to ride along with these two during this evolution together. And the core cast itself, they work together really well, all contributing to this main character's growth. Throughout the journey, they do have some wild and interesting conversations, albeit sometimes a little cliched, as Spaney's character experiences this adventure and the horrors of wartime journalism for the first time. And not to mention, this film was directed by Alex Garland, who brings this to life in a similar fashion to his other titles like Ex Machina and Annihilation, where the main plot is built inside some mysterious elements around it, and it's not always 100% clear what's going on. But Civil War, it's a visually stunning film that offers a pretty unique perspective on the dystopian genre with solid performances and a strong character-driven narrative. If that's what you like, this is an awesome option.
So good.
Oh, good.
Shot to the heart, and you're too late, darling. You give love a bad name.
Anyone but him slap the shit out of you. I really could.
And I'm open to that in a safer environment.
On to my fourth pick and another one of my favorites on this list, and this is the Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt led film The Fall Guy. This is another action comedy film on this list, and this one brings back the iconic TV series of the same name that follows Colt Seavers, who's a seasoned stuntman who is forced to take part in a dangerous mission to clear his name and save the star he does stunts for and from what appears to be this powerful criminal organization. Obviously, the film appeals to fans of the original TV series, offering a modern take on a beloved character and his adventures with plenty of callbacks and even some cool Easter eggs. I do really think they picked an outstanding director for this one with David Leitch, known for his work on movies like John Wick and Deadpool 2. He brings a lot of that same quality to this movie with thrilling stunts and exciting action sequences that pay homage to the world of stunt performers, highlighting their skills and dedication to their craft. And as good as the action is, the comedic elements are on par with it. Ryan Gosling is 100% an underrated comedic actor who has great comedic timing. You really can't help but laugh when he's in these serious situations. His facial expressions, how he says things, or just his physical comedy. Along with a solid cast like Emily Blunt, Hannah Waddingham, Teresa Palmer, Winston Duke, and Aaron Taylor Johnson in this one, really adding to the overall entertainment value of this film. So check out Fall Guy. It's on Peacock right now for this fun and entertaining action comedy film that offers thrilling action sequences, solid performances that absolutely make it worth a watch.
Question, why did these kids forget about us in the first place?
Last week, I just started falling apart. Oh.
You're sucking the oxygen out of the room.
Honestly, Doc, if this is how it's going to be, I'm just going to wheel myself back and plug in.
From one funny Ryan to another, let's talk about the movie If, which out of all the movies on this list, this is one of the most heartwarming and family-oriented films. It does tell the story of this young girl who discovers she can see everyone's imaginary friends. And as she embarks on a magical adventure to reconnect forgotten imaginary friends with their kids, this movie is directed by John Krasinski, which is certainly a shift from the horror films that he has directed in recent memory. This is a PG film. It explores childhood imagination and the importance of human connection, and the visuals fit the theme perfectly. It uses vibrant and imaginative visuals and colors to create this magical atmosphere. This is all brought together by strong performances though, from its star-studded cast led by Ryan Reynolds and Kaylee Fleming, provide numerous family-friendly laughs along the way, and this overall heartwarming message. Supported by John Krasinski, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Steve Carell, Brad Pitt, Blake Lively, and the list goes on and on. And yes, the plot is fairly predictable because of its rating, but If is an original, heartwarming, and imaginative family film that explores the power of imagination, has tons of strong performances, and looks beautiful. Definitely worth checking out.
I forget a lot of stuff. My doctor says I gotta keep my mind active. Joseph Weider's murder doesn't make sense.
On to my next pick on the list, and this is the movie Sleeping Dogs. This is a crime thriller starring Russell Crowe as Roy, who is a former homicide detective with memory loss, forced to revisit a brutal murder case that he can't really remember. He uncovers a sinister web of buried secrets tied to his forgotten past. As he delves deeper into the investigation, he must confront a chilling truth. Sometimes it's best to leave sleeping dogs locked. I do enjoy a solid murder mystery film, but I really enjoyed this one because of the concept of the detective with memory loss investigating a case he can't really remember. Definitely an element that keeps it intriguing and engaging throughout, and it really helps the already suspenseful narrative become even more suspenseful, which keeps you really on the edge of your seat. I've spoke highly about Russell Crowe in other movies that I really enjoy with him in it, and he again delivers another powerful performance as the troubled detective. He can still command the screen with his presence, along with plenty of other compelling performances from the supporting cast that includes Karen Gillan, Tommy Flanagan, Martin Kasokis. Sleeping Dogs is a gripping crime thriller. It offers a suspenseful, thought-provoking experience with those strong performances and a pretty strong narrative that makes it a solid option.
That's the one tonight. I feel a little inspired. This one's called Closer.
To get closer to you, girl.
I want to start off by saying that my next pick is probably a bit unique for the recommendations that I make. It is a romantic comedy, but it is probably 80% romantic and 20% comedy, and I don't do many romance movies, but this is The Idea of You, and it stars Anne Hathaway as Celine, a single mother who falls for Hayes, who is this rising pop star half her age. As their unlikely relationship develops, they must navigate the challenges of the age difference and the scrutiny of the public eye. This one is definitely a character-driven movie where you're relying heavily on Anne Hathaway and Nicholas Galitzine to deliver solid performances, and they do that brilliantly, bringing these characters to life through all of the ups and downs and the emotional moments throughout this film. They also have incredibly good chemistry with a ton of romance and steamy moments. And while it's not jam-packed with it, the humorous parts of the film do a good job keeping the movie from feeling overly serious and do provide some solid laughs. The writers do a really good job blending it in at the right time, so it never really interferes with those emotional moments and it doesn't make it feel cheesy or silly. So if you like lighthearted romance movies with a touch of humor and some solid performances, The Idea of You is an enjoyable watch on Amazon Prime. My next pick is another prequel on this list. This is A Quiet Place Day One. This is the third movie in the popular horror franchise. Set before the events of the original film, it does follow two survivors as they navigate the chaos and terror that unfolds when the alien creatures first invade Earth. This is a movie about aliens invading New York City, but it does not really have a ton of aliens in it. To me, it feels a lot like the later seasons of The Walking Dead, where the danger is always there, but it only really becomes a threat when it fits into the narrative. It really focuses into the relationship between the two main characters, played by Lupita Nyong'o and Joseph Quinn. These two deliver outstanding performances. It's very emotional, and what makes it really impressive to me is that they don't talk very much throughout the film. You get a ton of emotions from their physicality and their facial expressions and just interacting with each other. But really what kept me engaged on this one is how suspenseful the film feels. It is eerily quiet for a majority of the movie, and you're just waiting for a noise, even during these simple moments where they're sitting down a cup or they're walking across a wooden floor, expecting some type of chaos to ensue. But when the narrative needs it, the film does deliver those thrilling action sequences with some well-executed visual effects, creating a believable post-apocalyptic city and these terrifying aliens. So this is a thrilling horror film that offers an origin story for this popular franchise with some intense suspense, an expanded world, and additional insights into this alien invasion. Absolutely worth checking out on Paramount Plus.
We're gonna need all the help we can get.
Let's get to work.
Tall, dark, and horny at 12 o'clock.
I know not everybody loves remakes of older franchises, and for good reasons a lot of the times, but one that I did enjoy was the Ghostbusters remakes. So let's talk about the movie Frozen Empire. And before you freak out, no, it is not as iconic as the originals, but with some awesome callbacks and bringing back a ton of that original cast or iconic ghost, it does give you a lot to enjoy. And this one is a direct sequel of the 2021 film, and the story continues to follow the Spangler family as they navigate their newfound roles and confront new ghostly threats. This time they find themselves battling a powerful evil that could freeze New York City in ice. For fans of the original Ghostbusters franchise, these are either amazing options or they're absolutely horrible, depending on how you look at it. And for me, I lean towards the amazing, with it offering a continuation on some of these beloved characters and their adventures. And I think it does a great job maintaining the comedic elements that made the Ghostbusters franchise so popular. Plenty of laughs, there's witty lines, mostly delivered by either Finn Wolfhard or Paul Rudd. And like I said, it's not better than the original films, but one thing, just because of time and the improvement of technology, that this one does trump the originals is the visual effects. Bringing these new and sometimes classic ghostly creatures and supernatural elements to life looks amazing on screen. So check out Ghostbusters Frozen Empire for a fun and entertaining sequel that offers a continuation to the beloved Ghostbusters franchise. Definitely worth checking out on Netflix.
Do you know what they do here? Scamming the weakest in our society.
Buddy, I'm counting to 3.
1, 2, 3. There, I did it for you.
I want to preface my next pick by saying this. This movie has some outstanding things that I really loved about it, but also, well, some not outstanding things that I didn't enjoy in it. But this is The Beekeeper on Amazon Prime Video. This is an action-packed film starring Jason Statham as Adam, who is this former beekeeper who takes action to avenge a landlady who comes victim to this phishing scam. As he embarks on this, though, he goes through this brutal campaign for revenge, targeting those responsible for this scam and uncovering this vast conspiracy. So for the good, number one on this is Jason Statham's acting and action star prowess. He delivers a powerful performance, showcasing his fighting ability along with his overall action skills and charisma. Not quite as badass as the legendary John Wick, but he really takes it to this group. Overall, the action is great with well choreographed fights, chases, explosions, you name it. And with an R rating, it doesn't hold back about anything, including graphic violence and intense action sequences. And then on the other hand, for the bad, and the first thing I will address is the character Parker. This is just a poorly written character in my opinion, and I have nothing wrong with a villain that you love to hate, but this character just doesn't make sense a lot of the time, making awful decisions and definitely not really do anything for the plot. And the villains just in general felt a bit unrealistic, and they make dumb decisions constantly. And on top of that, I really didn't think the dialogue was that good in this one. It wasn't awful, and a lot of the times it was covered up by Jason Statham kicking somebody, but it's nothing to write home about. But if you're looking for some high octane action or just love watching Jason Statham beat people up in some badass ways, this is a great option. But if that isn't your thing, I'd go with something else.
You won the lottery. And now anyone with a losing ticket that kills you before sundown gets her money. Legally.
Okay, that's murder.
Oh, not in California. It's just a chance at the big time.
My next pick I can only describe as stupid, but at the same time it is a lot of fun and has tons of laughs, and this is the Amazon Prime Video original Jackpot. This is a comedic action film that stars John Cena and Awkwafina. Awkwafina plays Katie, who is this down on her luck actress who wins the grand lottery and finds herself targeted by every single person in California because if they kill her before sundown, they can legally claim the multi-billion-dollar jackpot. So Cena and Awkwafina's characters must work together to outsmart their pursuers and protect her newfound fortune. I personally really love the casting on this one here. John Cena and Awkwafina are outstanding comedic performers. They have great comedic chemistry in this one. They deliver their witty lines perfectly. They have great banter with each other, and they crash into a ton of hilarious situations. You are going to get very typical action sequences that appear in this type of movie, including over-the-top car chases, ridiculous fight scenes, and shootouts where these two main characters are just saying funny quips back and forth between each other. It's nothing mind-blowing, but again, as I stated, it's just fun. But with these two at the helm, they just bring to life these likable characters in these ridiculous situations, making you laugh even when they're doing normal things. So check out Jackpot. Again, it's stupid, but it's fun, it's entertaining, it's an action comedy film that offers a mix of humor and excitement where you don't have to think too much, perfect for a casual movie night.
Wow, you are a child.
It's a pretty long flight. Do you want anything from the front of the boat?
I'm all good on creatine and small dick insecurity.
Nothing small about me. What the?
Last but not least is a film that I've talked about before on the channel, and yes, it has been on Netflix for a minute now, but I really enjoyed and I think it's a solid movie night option, and this is Anyone But You. This is another romantic comedy on this list, but unlike The Idea of You, this one is way more comedy than it is romance. It's starring Sydney Sweeney as Bee, who is a young woman who is forced to spend a weekend with her ex one-night stand Ben and their mutual friends. As they navigate the weekend, they must go through awkward encounters and some unexpected surprises. I want to start off by saying that this movie looks really beautiful. Honestly, from the cast, the location, to the cinematography, everything about it looks great. And I do feel like that adds to the humor of it because things often feel somewhat elegant and then often something ridiculous just pops up and happens. But they offer a lot of different types of comedy in this one, from those ridiculous situations to some good old-fashioned witty banter between the lead duo. And speaking of the lead duo, Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell both do an outstanding job in this, delivering a hilarious, charming, and also relatable performance. And someone in the comments actually asked me to remember to discuss romantic elements of the movies, and for sure this one does have that. Some of it is just cute and wholesome, and others are, well, not. Some parts get really intensely steamy if that interests you at all. If you like rom-coms and you're looking for more comedy than romance, Anyone But You is a great pick. It has relatable characters, strong performances, looks absolutely stunning. And that's going to do it for our list today, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. And I know that every YouTuber says this, but click the stuff down below, subscribe, like, share the video. It does help us get a recommendation out for others looking for great shows and movies that they can watch from their home. But again, thanks, and we'll see you in the next one.